can feel it. Okay. Hi YouTube, I'm Emily and welcome to my channel. Unfortunately, Ashley's not here with me. We'll be together in probably like a week, so I'm sorry I haven't made a video in a long time. I was supposed to make one like 2 weeks ago, but I literally came down with Ebola. Like, that's what it feels like. So I was getting ready to go like out to a party with my friends, and I got this just incredible stabbing pain like right in the middle of my stomach, and I was like, whoa. And I thought like, oh, I have a history of gastritis and acid reflux. Like, this is probably just like a flare-up of that. I'll be fine. Like, let me just take some Maalox. Let me just grab some water, lay on my stomach for a little bit. But I got to the party. I got so nauseous and so dizzy. I literally had to go in the bathroom and like to try to make myself throw up, because it was the worst pain I think I'd ever been in my entire life. While that was happening, I was like trying to wait for the bathroom, but obviously there's drunk chicks in there. This like guy comes up and knocks on the door, and thanks for getting them out. And he's like, I really need to pee. I'm like, well, I'm going in there to throw up. And he's like, let's just go together. It's fine. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Let's do that. And then he's sitting there and he's trying to talk to me, and I'm like, I'm sorry, like everything you're saying, I am literally just focusing on throwing up. And so I was like, oh my god, I'm in so much pain. I called up my dad. Dad, my stomach is in the worst pain it's been in my life. And he's like, well, drive yourself to the hospital. Don't know what to tell you. So I get to the hospital. I thought I was gonna throw up, so I dragged one of the garbage cans over, and everyone was like looking at me because I was like really dressed up. The doctor comes in, and he's like, you shouldn't be coming in every weekend with this kind of pain. So instead of just testing your stomach and blaming it on your stomach, I'm gonna give you a CT scan. But for now, let's get you an IV and get you some drugs. The first thing they gave me was they put me on fluid. I got Benadryl through my IV. I got morphine. That was a fun one. I actually have some videos of me at various points.
I'm in the hospital. I'm gonna get a scan. They gave me drugs. It's pretty cool. 10 out of 10. No, don't do drugs, they're bad. Shh. I can't feel my throat. My lips. When the doctors think you're pregnant, but you get like negative sex. Nothing. 0. I can't feel my lips. So Kylie, do I look like Kylie Jenner? Look at me. Look at, and answer this for me. Do I look like Kylie Jenner? I wish I were as pouty as Donald Trump. He's really pouty like this. I just, like, Kylie Jenner lip challenge? No. Donald Trump lip challenge. Yeah, politics. Yeah. Cool.
What's your date of birth? 10/8/63. I'm going to have you sign some paperwork. There's 3 consents for you to sign, okay? This is the consent for the sedation. Let's just put the IV in here that let you know that there's always risk.
And then they gave me this thing called the GI cocktail, and they're like, have you ever had one of those before? I'm like, I've honestly never heard of it. It's a mixture. It is the foulest tasting thing. Not the foulest thing I've ever had, but it was pretty foul. There's Maalox, and ginseng. And then lidocaine, that was a fun one too. It numbed from like the tip of my lips, where like the liquid hit my lips, down. Like it was supposed to numb all my whole entire digestive tract. I could, like, my throat, I couldn't swallow. They also gave me like regular like protonics, aka pantoprazole, which does not react well with me. Gave me like a laxative. They gave me a bunch of stuff in there. So the nurse on staff was awesome. She's so nice. Just did not do well at getting the IVs in my body. It was not her. I'm pretty sure I was dehydrated, like really dehydrated. So her first attempt was made in this arm. The first attempt like failed just completely. She was like trying to get it, and I was like, no, this isn't working. I was like crying. I was like, stop. So the second attempt she got in this arm, which can't really see it, but I was getting my CT, and I was on my way to like the room, and I was just sitting there. I was like, my arm hurts, like trying to say it loudly, but I was having trouble. And then she looks at it, and she's like, oh shit, I blew it. IV got blown. So my arm, I'll show you, like I'll put pictures in, but my arm was probably like out here. It was like puffy and gross. There was fluid buildup. It was disgusting. So she switched it over to this arm, where she tried with like 3 different needles to get the IV, and she tried kids needles, like 22 gauge, like, and all those bruises though, look at that. That's good. Yeah, that was her trying to get IVs in. So she ended up bringing another nurse in, and she ended up putting it in his hand. You can see all, like, those aren't bruises, those are just like sticks from the tape, like the tape residue still on my hand. Terrible. It doesn't come off. Medical tape. So I got my IVs in, and that was what was in for the CT scan. So I got the iodine, and she's like, oh, it's gonna feel like you peed yourself. I was very convinced that I peed myself. I was like, no, I need to change my underwear. And she's like, no, it's just a feeling warm. And I had hot flashes. It was great. And then after the CT scan, I got back to the room. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. So this whole ordeal lasted like 6 hours. Me like just getting drugs and 0 out of 10. And I like, they get me back. Just, alright, try to get some sleep now. And I just fell right asleep. The doctor got me up at 6 in the morning. And he was getting ready to discharge me, but the pain came back, the nausea, more than ever. It hurt way more than it did at night. And he was like in the middle of talking to me, he's like saying all these things like, I need to use the bathroom, and he unhooks my, like, the fluid from my IV, and I just run to the trash can and just Ralph all in. Like, it was the most, like, violent thing I've ever done in my life, and he, like my back, and then calls the nurse on his, like, little thing. He's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Like, she's really sick right now. So the nurse gets me and gets, like, a bag, like, one of those little, like, bags for me with a mouth. Retched for, like, an hour. It was the worst pain, worst nausea I've ever felt in my life. And I might have, like, Ralphed, like, 5 or 6 times. And at one point, it was just nothing. I just needed to be, like, not nauseous. At one point, I ended up falling asleep with the bag. And it, like, fell. And it was all over me and all over the ground. It's like, I woke up, I was like, nobody bothered to take this from me. I was asleep for like an hour or 2. Like, no one bothered. I was like asleep cuddling the bag, and then it fell all over me, and I was just like, I'm covered in my own Ralph. This is gross. And the doctor came back in after I woke up, and he's like, yeah, you were very sick. You got really sick this morning, more sick than you were last night. I don't think you're going home today. I'm like, well, this is great. So they get me up to my hospital room that they've assigned me, and my dad comes. My brother comes to visit me and get my like school books and stuff so I can do schoolwork while I'm in the room. And one of my friends from school actually came and visited me and sat with me in my dorm room, or sat with me in my room, and they put me on, what was it, clear liquid? I was on clear liquid diet, and I was so upset. I was like, I just want to eat. I want a bagel or something. And like, I was just getting liquids, and like, I was trying to sleep. Like, I slept a lot. It was a very uneventful Sunday, except for the morning where I just ralphed on everything I loved. I think I had like an Italian ice that day for food. So the night came and I was like asleep or whatever. And then Monday rolled around and this was the day I was supposed to be getting an endoscopy, which I was scheduled to have for like 3 weeks or 2 weeks or something. But I was supposed to get it at a different center. Like they woke me up at Monday at like 6 in the morning and she comes in, she's like, hi, I was ordered to try your blood. And I'm like, at 6 in the morning? I'm so sorry. No. So she drew blood from me and it was just not fun. But like, got me up at 6 to do it. And I was like, oh, well, my surgery or my endoscopy, because I was scheduled for a 7:45 like intake for an 8:30 procedure. And they're like, yeah, well, we switched facilities, so you're just gonna get squeezed in wherever. I'm like, damn it. No. So rude. So I think I ended up getting, like, they squeezed room for me at like 12:30. They gave me a couple drugs. They gave me like something similar to Valium and then like something similar to codeine. So like knock me out and numb the pain. So I remember being in the room where they were doing the procedure and I was just sitting there and like they put the oxygen in my nose. I'm like, oh, call me Hazel Gray. Made them laugh so hard. I was like, it smells like Girl Scout cookies. They're talking with me and I'm just like sitting there and I don't even remember what was going on because once they gave me the Valium I was like, oh. So I couldn't recount my procedure, but I remember waking up and my throat was killing me, and that's probably because they stuck like a metal snake like taller than myself down inside of my body with a camera attached and decided to look around. My dad was getting fed up. He's like, I don't think you're going home tonight. I was like, when am I gonna go home? And then like my dad comes in, he's like, oh, JK, you're going home. And I'm like, yes. It's like, wait, what's wrong with me? And then like the doctor came in and he was like, you have an inflamed artery. Like your endoscopy came up clear. It's called the mesenteric artery. It leads to your intestine. And I'm like, okay, why does that happen? And they're like, oh, well, it might be inflamed because of a lymph node. I was like, excuse me, what? And then they were like, oh, it's probably because you're young. Check back with us in a week. So I got released at probably 7 p.m. Excuse you, airplane? That's rude. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.